Welcome back to the Weekend Warriors of Wrestling. We are now being joined by the phenomenal AJ Styles. AJ, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about TNA's move to primetime on Thursday nights?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, moving to a primetime slot, at least that's on cable, you know, from, I guess, 8 till, or maybe even 7. Well, I think it's huge. I mean, moving to a primetime slot, at least that's on cable, you know, from, I guess, 8 till, or maybe even 7 till 12 o'clock is prime time. So it's big for us to have primetime television, and who knows what can happen from here. And plus, we're getting the UFC fans, you know, right after their program.
Actually, absolutely. Actually, last night I spoke with Dixie Carter, and she was talking about how she's glad that you guys actually ended up with a later time slot because you get a better lead-in.
Right, and the UFC fans who may not know about us, but, you know, hopefully, you know, with tonight's show, I know that we're going to bleed into some of the UFC kind of stuff with the Christopher Daniels Samoa Joe match, and maybe that'll, you know, help them to see what we do, how great it is, how, you know, and maybe just pick up those fans.
Is it satisfying for you, a guy who was on the first show back when you were just a Wednesday night pay-per-view, to see where the company's become?
Absolutely, it's huge. I mean, like I said, I've been there since this thing first started, and just to see it grow and prove everybody wrong, it's just a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we look forward to seeing on the show besides the great X Division title match with AJ and Samoa Joe?
You mean Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe?
What did I say?
Well, you actually said AJ and Samoa Joe. Right?
Ah.
Oh, I apologize.
That's what we call a Freudian slip.
Yes, we do.
All right.
I apologize for that.
No problem. It's, you know what? I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I would say just tune in and watch, but you're going to see some of, you know, the guys, like, you know, Sting that you haven't really seen in a while, and, you know, Scott Steiner is another one of those guys. So I would say just tune in, see for yourself. I think you're going to be pleased with, you know, the 1 hour that we have right now is better than 2 hours of our competitor.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree with that. I was actually watching Raw last week, and I was just bored to tears. So, yeah.
Well, and I say right now, as far as an hour goes, because I believe, you know, in a couple months, that we'll have at least 2, and I think that'd be great. I mean, we need it. It's hard to do a lot of things that we need to do within an hour, but we seem to get it done. But it'd be nice to have 2.
Not only that, but you guys also have such a huge roster, and it's hard to show all that talent in just 1 hour a week.
Absolutely, and you know, we got a lot of stuff we want to do, but it's hard to do that in the short amount of time that we have.
You just mentioned Scott Steiner and Sting. What do you think of all those major, big, huge wrestling names coming into the company at this time?
Well, I think anything that helps us grow is a great thing. I mean, Sting has absolutely done that. At a pay-per-view, I know that he almost doubled what we usually do on a pay-per-view, and, you know, as far as buys goes, and I mean, you know, whatever we can do to grow is the best thing for TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody you look forward to working with?
You know, I'm actually anxious to work with Scott Steiner, you know, and it looks like that's going to happen, as you'll see in tonight's show. So I'm anxious to see what he's like in the ring, you know, how strong he is and whatnot. So it'll be fun.
I actually think that'd be a tremendous difference in clash in styles, and a lot of people, no pun intended, but going back to my question, was back in 2004, they kind of teased you against Kevin Nash, and I also thought that ought to be just a phenomenal one-on-one confrontation.
Well, it's definitely a different kind of a match, especially, you know, with Kevin and even with Scott Steiner. That'd be a different kind of match, and, you know, it's something that I could learn from. And I think that's, you know, people would want to see how it goes. I mean, I'd like to see how this match goes. So it'd be fun.
Now, you've worked a lot in both the X Division and the heavyweight division. What do you prefer?
Well, I prefer the X Division, you know, because you got guys who can just about do anything in a ring. And it's just, they go out there and have great matches with people who, you know, can do just about anything. I mean, really, that's basically it. You know, not to say that heavyweights can't, because they have their own style, you know, and I like wrestling that style as well, but I'm more of an X Division guy.
Well, we've got Lockdown coming up next week. I believe it's next Sunday. Am I correct?
Yeah, a week from Sunday.
Okay. What do you think you'll be doing on this card? Because you haven't been.
That's good. I could kind of give a spoiler for tonight, I believe.
It will give the spoiler for tonight. I kind of mentioned it already.
Well, the good news is this is the Weekend Warriors, so we probably will have already seen what happens.
That's right, you will. And
yes.
So therefore, I'm with Sting. I'm with his crew. So it's me, Sting, Rhino, and Ron, the Truth Killings, against Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, and America's Most Wanted in the War Games match.
Last year's Lockdown, a lot of people went in with a lot of intrepidation. They were a little worried about how it would turn out because it would be overkill, they thought. And you guys really delivered one of the best shows you guys ever did. As a performer, did you go in there with a different mindset of, I have to do something different than everybody else to make my match seem special?
Yeah, I really did. I know the first play, 6 or 7 minutes, Abyss and I were out of the ring, or even out of the cage. We weren't even in the cage. So, it was hard on everyone to have different matches. And I remember after that pay-per-view was over, I said, you know what? No other company could have done that. No other company could have came together and worked together as well as we did and had a gimmick pay-per-view where, we were wrestling in a cage and have such a great show. I just don't think anybody could have done it but TNA.
Oh, yeah. TNA just had their first house show in the middle of March, and I heard nothing but tremendous reviews. Is there any chance of them doing any more of those?
I'm sure there is. I mean, especially how well we done in Detroit. The fans were tremendous, and it was just a great show, man. We were all excited about the show. For being a house show, and you're getting 37, that's just ridiculous. I don't even know if WWE is doing that. So it just goes to show that people are excited about TNA and want to see more house shows. And I've had a lot of people ask, hey, when are you guys going to have house shows around here? And, so time will tell. I hope that we do more of them. I mean, I do think that we're also working with Hermie Sadler and his shows. They're kind of TNA shows as well.
Right. Well, you mentioned traveling, and traveling is something that we always discuss on this show that TNA needs to do, mostly because of what we call the cheers effect that happens at the Impact Zone, where they get so used to people that they just become so accustomed to seeing them. And you actually were a little bit of a victim of that, where fans would cheer Joe.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That is probably the main reason why we need to travel, is people get so used to us and seeing us all the time that they'll get bored and start, cheering for the heels or whatnot, and just lack of seeing something different, So I agree that we do need to get on the road, but, that takes money. We're bringing other guys in who are a little bit more costly, I guess you could say. I don't know that that's something we can do too much of. But then again, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Who knows?
Well, that said,
that's just my opinion. I mean, I hope we do.
There was reports on the internet that you actually were not in favor of bringing in. I don't know how to word it, but a lot of people word it the Island of Misfit Toys, the older WWE guys that are no longer with the company. Is there any truth that you were a little bit, disturbed by the fact that they were just bringing in just about everybody that they let go?
Well, I can't say that I was disturbed. I was worried. And I mean, I know that they put on a radio interview that I'd said something about Sting, and I was worried about, I hope we have enough money to bring Sting in. And it kind of was put out that I didn't want Sting there. That wasn't the case. And obviously, Sting done more than get, enough buys. I mean, he's got people watching, he's doing great for us. So, I mean, but these guys are, making us a bigger product. And if that's what they're doing, then who am I to say, hey, we don't need you guys? Because we do.
Right.
So I can't say that they're doing wrong. I mean, if they're bringing these guys in slowly, they're bringing them in. I mean, we don't have that many. And I think for the most part, we can learn from them. These older guys who've been there and done that. So I don't see it all bad. I really don't. Not at all.
And as a matter of fact, as part of these things... Go ahead. Go ahead. I apologize. I'm stepping all over you.
Yeah, it's all right. You worked a lot of matches with Samoa Joe, and I said that you both are two of the most unique wrestlers I've seen in the last decade or so. What's it like working with somebody like Joe?
Well, you know, when I talked about one of those guys who could do anything and everything, I'm talking about Samoa Joe as well. I mean, he may be 280 pounds, which makes him totally different than any other X Division guy, but he can still do X Division, and that's what's so amazing about Samoa Joe. This guy's not supposed to move the way he moves, and that's what makes it such a unique match. You know, with him and I, or you know, Daniels and him, and which you'll see tonight or Thursday night. That is just a great match. It's easy to put together matches with someone who can do the things like Samoa Joe.
There's reports that he went blind during your X Division or X match, Ultimate X match at the Destination X match. Now, going back to that match, did you have to change things up on the fly because of that?
Well, he had pink eye. Now, he failed to tell us it was pink eye. He told us it was an eye infection. Well, so if you've ever had a pink eye, you know, especially when you get into day 3 without any medication, it gets pretty bad. Your eyes get matted together, and a lot of that, you know, happened to Joe during this match. I remember one time he was trying to actually go through on the cables. He was going to climb a little bit, and he couldn't see. He was lost. So that did change on the fly, that one part. But the bad thing about this whole eye infection, which was pink eye, he gave it to me and Daniel. So we all had pink eye.
Well, this is probably a dumb question, but I'm just curious. Are his kicks as painful as they look?
Samoa Joe is a professional. He is absolutely one of the best at making things look like, you know, they're killing you. And there's only one other guy that I know that can kick like that, and that's Low Key. So, you know, those guys are just, you know, they're professionals. That's all I can say. You know, they're very good at what they do.
Any chance we'll ever see?
Don't get me wrong. Some of them, yeah, they do hurt.
Yeah, because I was watching your match at Turning Point, and some of them looked like he was just killing you. I was like, ow.
Well, I wrestled him at a, I don't remember what show it was that we did, and the next day, my chest was just aching me really bad. Like somebody was trying to give me CPR the whole day or something. And I started thinking back, and it was from Joe kicking me in the chest. So, you know, if you can't take it, you know, then you don't need to be in wrestling. But it's just part of it. Bumps and bruises, right?
A lot of people talk about the X Division, and a lot of people put it down saying that you guys aren't really wrestlers, you're acrobats and things of that nature. You've said earlier on that you can learn from the older guys, and you also seem to, and I'm not trying to put you down for your old skills, but you've, I don't want to say improved, but you seriously have learned more psychology in the past 3 years since TNA's been around. Now, how do you answer people who basically look at you, see that you're able to do certain spots, and just think because you do that spot that you just have no psychology, just a quote-unquote spot monkey?
Well, I would tell Bautista that...
as a matter of fact, it's funny you should mention that, because he actually said that about you on this show, and you just brought it up and made me remember that.
Well, I know that he was one of the guys. And you know what? It's funny that this guy who takes a bump and tears his, you know, back, you know, will tell me that I don't know how to wrestle. That's ridiculous. You know, I was a 2-time state champion. Absolutely know how to wrestle. I know psychology, and I did learn that a lot more. I mean, you never stop learning in wrestling. So, therefore, I've learned from people. I'm not get better. Absolutely. A lot better, I think, as far as psychology goes. But I don't think you should knock people because you can't do it. I think that's what it's all about. Because you can sell, you know, bumps, whether it be flipping over or whatever, you know, but don't hate you can't do it. And I don't see how things are spots. If you could say, just because they flip, they're spot monkeys, well, that's ridiculous. But because everybody calls the same matches, they just can't do some things that other people can. So, you know what? When it comes right down to it, I think they're just jealous.
Has WWE contacted you about coming to their company since 2002?
No, not really, no. I mean, there's been talks, but everybody talks. They never know who's talking or where it's coming from or even if it's the truth. But they, you know, one of my worst fears is that I'd have to go there. I wouldn't especially for me, I would not like to go there because I'd sit on the back burner like Paul London is. And when we got a talent like that, you don't leave him behind stage talking while somebody else cuts their interview. It's ridiculous.
Is Paul London still with the company?
Yep, he is.
I didn't even know he was still with them.
And that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But going back to your indie bookings a little bit, has TNA put any restrictions on the amount of indie bookings that you can take?
Well, not on me. I have in my contract that they actually make money from me doing indie bookings. So I'm under TNA's control actually right now as far as that goes, and they want me to do these indie bookings. So it works both ways. It works good for everybody.
Okay, James, you want to take the next question?
Sure. The next question I have for you is, you mentioned that you didn't want to go to WWE, partially because they wouldn't use you. Another reason that might be is because they're just supposedly miserable up there, and everybody that we talk to from TNA says anything but. They always say that TNA has the best family backstage atmosphere. Is it really as good as everybody says?
Absolutely. We're not walking on eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
We're having good times goofing around and then going in there and putting on a show. And everyone's happy when you're able to, give reviews on your pay-per-views and your shows. So that makes everyone happy. And we seem to be a growing company right now.
Mm-hmm.
WWE, they're not doing crap. They're just stale. So
yep.
That makes, everybody happy. When you're growing, you're excited about growing, excited about different things happening, that's fun.
Mm.
Oh.
What is the future for TNA? What do you envision your company being in 2 years?
Well, the sky's the limit. You never know what can happen, how many fans we're going to get, how fast we're going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to think that we would be at a 9 o'clock time slot, maybe going head to head with WWE. Who knows? Competition's a great thing,
mm-hmm.
and I hope that's what we come to. But like I said, you never know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing could happen, or maybe the greatest thing could happen in wrestling. But let's just hope we're on that 5-year cycle where we're going up instead of down.
A few weeks back, I had a chance to interview Tracy Brooks, and one of the things she said that really made me laugh, this kind of going back to the backstage family atmosphere of TNA, is that she made the claim that all the cancer that was ever in the locker room has been cut out. Without naming names, would you agree with that statement?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And not that we had a lot of them.
Right.
But we did have some. And I think for the most part that's gone, because there's not a person in the locker room that I wouldn't mind going up to and talking to them about, a match or whatever. It's not a big deal. You just want to do that and get it over with. It's easy. That's what it's all about. It's just easy to talk to anybody in our company, and that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ultimate warriors.
What do you think of his ideas? He actually is posting these crazy messages that usually start as, I want to go to TNA, and end with, my ex-wife is a bitch. So.
Well, I don't know what to think about that, to be honest with you. I think TNA's smart enough not to bring a guy like that in. That's the last thing we need is trouble, and that guy sounds like a lot of trouble, at least from back in the day. So, I can't say from experience because I've never met the guy before. Man, it's weird.
Are there any major stars that you would like to see brought in, like maybe Goldberg or Chris Jericho?
I'd love to see Chris Jericho, but I doubt that'll ever happen. I would think that Vince probably has a lockdown on him, but who knows? I would love to see him here. And they're, Benoit, bring those guys. But I don't think we need too many of their guys anyway.
One of the things that I always argue with, I do a weekly show on AM radio, as opposed to this one as well. And one of the things we always argue about on the show is one of the guys is very critical at TNA. And his claim is they're always trying to do this. They're trying to be like WCW. They're trying to be like ECW. They're trying to be like WWE. And my claim is, no, they are all those things, and they've got their own blend too. Do you think that you guys have found your niche yet?
I don't know. It's hard to have a niche in an hour.
Good point.
That makes things really hard. But this guy sounds like, to me, he just sounds like a hater. That's basically, he just sounds like he's in love with WWE. And that's a shame, because he has to sit there and twiddle his thumbs watching the show, bored out of his mind.
Wow. Well, I can honestly say, from watching TNA, since I've been watching it since they got onto FSN in 2004, and I can honestly say that I've been thoroughly entertained by the product just because it does offer so many different things, from tag team wrestling to heavyweights to X Division. It's just, it has all its bases covered, and I think it would make any wrestling fan happy.
Well, let me tell you this. I think that we've got the entertainment. If you want entertainment, we've got it. You want people that can talk, we've got it. You want people that can fly, we've got it. If you want people who can just straight up wrestle, we've got it. We've got everything you could possibly want in a show. Now, granted, yeah, we only have an hour, but that's going to change because we've got what people want to see. It will change.
Excellent. Do you mind doing a few word associations before we close out? Basically, I'll just give you
guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I am terrible at this and give you short, terrible answers. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get.
Okay, well, we'll try. First name I have is Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels.
One of the best in the business, no doubt.
Jeff Jarrett.
He's my boss.
Sting.
An icon, huge icon in this business.
Are you surprised that every time he does a interview or speech or anything, he always puts you over as one of the guys that he loves to watch?
In this, for him to say that, it's huge, and he does things that just make me think, man, this guy's really cool. He's such a great guy. I can't express to you how cool this guy really is. I know you think, well, Sting's cool, I like his character, but the Steve Borden guy, he's also, such a cool guy.
He really surprised me. I had a chance to interview him back when he made that movie, the Christian movie. And after I did the interview, 2 days after I did the interview, there was 15 copies of the movie in my mailbox sent by him.
Wow.
I was like, that is cool.
Yeah. That is cool. That just shows what kind of person he is.
Yeah.
Okay, next name I have is the Monster Abyss.
He is a monster and the best big man in the business without a shadow of a doubt.
How about Christian Cage, the current champ?
He is the NWA champion, and, well, I guess if this is word association, that's all you get.
How about Kid Cash?
You know what, honestly, let me talk about Christian.
Sure.
I think he is definitely a plus to TNA. I think he's done great things for us on the mic and in the ring, and I'm, anxious to see, where it goes if I ever wrestle him. So I'm excited about him being there.
How about one of the guys that you don't have to say yes or no because I know you don't like to bury people, but how about Kid Cash?
That's Jamie Noble's partner. How about that? That's all I can say. Honestly, Cash and I left on good terms with each other, and I'd like for it to stay that way. I'm a peacemaker, and I just like to keep it that way, if you know what I mean.
Good.
Now, how about the alpha male Monty Brown?
The pounce. Probably one of the coolest moves. I mean, I would say right up there with the Canadian Destroyer, because it's awesome. It's just a shoulder tackle from Doom or something like that. It's awesome. Monty Brown is definitely one of the better guys in the heavyweight division who I definitely would love to get into the ring with.
You just mentioned him. How about Petey Williams?
The Canadian Destroyer. There's nothing like it, man. By far, it's one of the best finishers I've ever seen in my life. And that is definitely an attention getter. So if anybody sees that on Spike TV, they'll definitely be a fan.
Does that move require more concentration to take so you don't break your neck?
I got to admit, I don't concentrate much. I just go with the flow, and it seems to work out every time. There was one time where at a pay-per-view where he just jumped off the second rope and just landed on me when we went straight back, and I really crunched my head on that one. But, that was kind of my idea, so that's what I get. And he kind of warned me. He said, I can't protect you. And I said, it'll be all right. It was close.
Okay, well, I'm done. Do you have any more questions for me?
Yeah, I do. I interviewed you 3 years back. You probably don't remember. I know you do about 1 billion of these things. The question I have for you is we were talking a little bit about video games at one point, and, of course, you were talking about how great the No Mercy games were, and that you were thinking or working with somebody about making a new game. I think it was X Wrestling or something of that nature.
Pro Wrestling X. They're kind of slowed down. I mean, they're still working on it, but, that takes money and it's hard to get grants. And when you do finally get a grant, it took 6 months to get these guys to give you money.
Mm-hmm.
So they're slowly and surely to producing a game. So got way working on a game that will be out for 2007 on your PS3 and Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
So it will definitely be a great game and something to be excited about, especially when you got AJ Styles and Samoa Joe working on this particular game to help Midway do exactly what people want to play.
So you guys are actually going to be very involved in the process.
Yes, as far as we know, I know we're going to fly up there to Chicago, where I believe Midway is located, and get busy on a product.
Without promoting a product, without promoting a opposing product, what is your favorite wrestling game that's out there on the market currently?
Oh, well, I'm going to go back to old school for the Nintendo 64. It's called Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. It is a Japanese game, which has All Japan, New Japan, FMW, Michinoku. This is all before, All Japan split, and FMW was alive, and Michinoku split. It was all before that. So it's just got so many different characters in there. Anybody you can possibly think of who, at least in the older days, that wrestled in Japan who had more big names, and old school wrestlers like Dory and Terry Funk and Abdullah the Butcher, all of these guys in the game. By far the best game I've ever played.
Have you ever played the Day of Reckoning series for the GameCube?
I'm going to give that 2 thumbs down.
2 thumbs down, wow.
Wow.
There's too much kick and punch.
Too much kick and punch.
Yeah, I want to see more of I think people make the play it too much. I mean, I know they try to say, well, it's pretty close to a No Mercy or whatnot, the same engine, but it's not. Until they came up with it, of course, I guess, with playing video games, as far as wrestling ones go, I'm not going to put up with it. I'm just going to stick to the ones I love to play.
Well, we can't thank you enough for your time.
Cool.
Yes, thank you very much. We've been trying to get this for the last, 2 months, I think, and I've really been looking forward to this.
Well, it was fun, guys. I hope I answered some of your questions for you. So,
all right.
If nothing else, just make sure you watch TNA, support our product, and we'll keep growing with you.
Before
we let you go, could you please do a quick show ID for us? Just say this is AJ Styles and you're listening to the Weekend Warriors of Wrestling.
Sure.
All right, now, just to warn you, that's a bit of a tongue twister.
Weekend Warriors of Wrestling. What?
Weekend Warriors of Wrestling.
Warriors of Wrestling.
Yes, we picked it because it's an internet show, and that's WWW. Aren't we creative?
Yes, you are.
Is that why you picked it?
I think so, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
When you're ready.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, and you listen to Weekend Warriors of Wrestling.
Hey guys, my name is James Walsh, and you are listening to the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. I want to thank you for finding us. Please do me a favor and click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. And if you get the chance on this video, click the like button. If you do, it'll turn blue. Check it out. Also, check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for all this great content available in MP3 format, our online store that'll keep us going free and clear, daily news updates, as well as all the information from the history of professional wrestling you could possibly ever want. Check out WrestlingEpicenter.com online right now. Without any delay, let's get to your interview here on the Wrestling Epicenter.